Hello. Hair.
Oh.
Okay, but fun fact, you did get the package for me and you did open for me, so I cannot do a proper unboxing. But anyways, hi, thank you for joining me in another video. The people from Chocolate contacted me. They wanted to send over some products for me to try, and I chose this set of 32 acrylic paints, and I'm very excited to try. And I thought I could show you on camera how they perform, I guess. They have a little color chart here, which comes in quite handy. And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna paint next. I bought a big canvas. It's like 20 by 24. I don't know why I'm doing this. But I also got a very, very tiny one at the dollar store, and I thought it would be cute to give away because it's easier to ship. But yeah, I'm excited. Let's try it. Cute. As you can see, it's quite big, and I'm not used to painting this big, so to be less intimidating, I took something that I had already previously painted and I just copied it into this big format. The way I did it is I took my initial drawing on Procreate. Wait, I can show you. I can show you. Wait. Okay, so I took my sketch, then I put it on Photoshop, and then I selected, I made a canvas 20 by 24, and then I divided into two 11 by 17 papers because that's the biggest one that I have. And thankfully my printer is a large format printer. So yeah, I printed it real size, and that's it. Now I'm gonna transfer it to the actual canvas and start painting. Cute. I think I got confused by my own explanation, but let me know if you have any questions that I can help you with. The way I'm gonna transfer my drawing to the canvas is I'm gonna take the printed sketch, flip it on the back, and fill up the whole page with graphite. I might sound confident, but don't be fooled. It's actually the second time that I'm gonna paint with acrylics, transferring my sketch like that, but to be honest, it works like a charm. It's not the most complicated thing in the world, right? For the first time, I simply used a random 2B pencil that I had laying around to fill up the whole paper, and it does the job just fine. This time I wanted to go a little bit fancy and, well, impatient. And I bought this graphite bar. I believe you can find them very easily on any local art supply store. It goes a lot faster, as we can imagine, just by looking at it. And I'm not gonna lie, when it comes the time to flip the paper over to the canvas and start tracing, I always think it'll get everything dirty as soon as it touches the canvas. So I'm always like scared like a puppy, but nothing really happens. You actually have to press down quite firmly for the graphite on the back of the paper to really transfer to the canvas. It's very satisfying how clean it ends up. 10 out of 10 would do it again. Well, I am doing it again technically. You might want to touch up a few things after you're done that just didn't transfer correctly, but remember that most of the things that you put, most of the details are gonna be like eaten up by the acrylic because it's so opaque. So basically a bunch of things are gonna be lost, but somehow our perfectionist personalities are still gonna want everything there on the sketch. As I mentioned before, it's my second time painting with acrylics, and I'm definitely not a canvas person. So I just did what somebody with no education would do. I opened up the canvas, I threw the keys away, and of course I didn't even know they had a name. I thought they were random wooden things, and that was all that I knew. That was as far as I went on my thought process. And I looked at the packaging that said pre-primed, said to myself, oh cool, thank you, and started laying paints right away on the bare naked canvas. To be completely honest with you, I felt that something was wrong on my first painting. But well, I was loving playing with the colors and loving the fact that I was doing something new and different. And I didn't really care that it took me so long and the paints were thirsty and screaming at my face for not giving them proper care. It was only by the time I was done with this guy here that I started getting quite annoyed at the process. The paint was not gliding through the canvas and it was looking very scratchy, patchy, and not flat at all, like usually I want my flats. So what I did, what any other normal person would do, I started the blaming process. I blamed the paint, I blamed the canvas, I blamed my hands, I blamed my skills, and I really wanted to cry and go back to digital painting, and then I was like, wait, what if this is the canvas trying to tell me that something is going on and something's wrong? And well, he was, my friends, he was. I started watching videos and educating my ignorant self on priming canvases. Wait, I have to show you this one.
And the first thing people do is they'll take these little stick things off, which we know as keys, but they certainly do not. And the first thing they're going to do with them, throw them in the bin, because they don't know what they're for. And there's no point putting them on there because they don't understand what they're used for. So that's the first mistake, because your canvas is loose.
I cannot tell you how much I wanted to hide in a cave and hug my imaginary friend for comfort at the same time while watching these videos. I'll leave a few of these videos down in the description box below if you get curious and want to check them out as well. But basically, the cheaper store-bought canvases, even if they say they're pre-primed or ready to paint, they still need some extra love. The surface is rough and has a lot of texture that adds a lot of resistance to the brush strokes. So it takes some sanding down to smooth everything out, and then we have to add layers of gesso to give the paint something to bind to. It can be quite a long process, but it for sure makes a lot of difference. Priming canvases was not shocking news or something I've never heard of course. I guess it's just my fault for just going straight into it and forgetting that some mediums require extra attention and preparation, which is part of their charm. I remember specifically watching so many videos from Lena Dunya, for example her Sketchbook Sunday series, where she explains 100 times that she primes her simple moleskin sketchbook with gesso to be able to paint with oils in it and practice.
So as a disclaimer, I prime the pages with gesso before using any oil paint on them. I get a lot of questions about how I use oil paint in my sketchbook, or if it's any special sketchbook, and it's not. It's actually intended for drawing, which I use it for that as well, but I like to use oils in it too, so priming the paper with gesso makes that possible.
It was so funny because an oil sketchbook is not something that we see very often, so people basically kept asking in every single video, how does she paint with oils on a moleskin? And it hammered the information to my brain that oils need something to bind to and paper is not enough for that. And basically I would never forget about priming if I were to paint with oils in the sketchbook. But I guess I didn't really watch many acrylic videos or people painting with acrylic. So I didn't really have a guardian angel like her to hammer helpful information into my brain. Well, I guess I do have the information now. So yes, it was really nice to know that I found the culprit and that I was definitely missing out on something and that I could simply fix it. I got very excited to go buy gesso and properly prime my canvas for a new painting, to see how much better it could get. I was actually going to include it in this video to be able to compare all of the methods of painting, but I thought it was going to be too long already. On the bright side, it feels great to have something to look forward to, right? I forgot to mention that right before I started painting, I took a kneaded eraser and erased the whole sketch to look almost like invisible, so that the graphite wouldn't show through the paint. If you get a thick layer or a really opaque color, this shouldn't be a problem. As you saw with the leaves, my sketch was basically 100% covered by one layer of green. But some pigments, for their composition and ingredients, are naturally lighter and more transparent, especially when they're used pure without mixing up with any other colors. I forgot to erase the sketch of that little starburst over there and painted over it with the yellow. Then I couldn't really fix it without adding a thick layer of paint, which I did not want. I tried painting with white, then adding yellow again, but nothing was really working, and I got a bit afraid of making it even worse, so I just left it as it was. We learn, we learn. Here on the cheeks I started with a very shy peach color, which I actually liked more, but then as I laid it down right next to that red, it was really close in value to the vermilion red, so I ended up choosing a colder pink to contrast it a little bit more. If you imagine a color wheel, the peach is very close to the vermilion, so when I put them right beside each other or when I go over it with this little triangle, it would basically be so close that they would clash with each other, and our eyes aren't really able to separate them because they're kind of blending in together. So I just chose a further color from that vermilion, which in this case is a colder, bluer pink. had no idea of where I would hang him, but I guess this yellow wall we have in our kitchen is just the perfect place. I didn't even have to think twice. I wanted to say like, can you believe it's the same yellow on the walls and on the little details on my painting? But yeah, I think we can all believe it just means that I really like this color and I put it everywhere. But yeah, it was a cute and fun coincidence. Moving on to the tiny canvas, again the same struggle. At this point I was really frustrated with how unpleasant the painting experience was, and I didn't really enjoy it, but I thought it was so cute to have the little easel on my bookshelf that I still continued. I messed up the colors a few times. I didn't really know what I wanted, but I guess it's still a fun experience to figure things out as you go. One other thing I keep forgetting is that opaque paints like gouache and acrylic tend to dry darker than transparent ones like watercolors that actually dry lighter. That's definitely why I ended up with a different color palette than what I was thinking of. It's so hard to come from painting with so much light, like when we're using Photoshop on the computer or Procreate on the iPad. Everything is so alive and vibrant. It's hard to remember that in real life things are not backlit constantly, and you have to adjust your colors to live in that other world, which is actually the real world, I think. Oh gosh, I did not want to go down the existential road. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me going on this adventure with acrylics. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye! Hi!
Hi!
Babe!
I'm sorry, I really thought you
It's
wanted
not
to
for
make
you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I shut up.
Is it chow cola or chow cola? Chow cola. I'm saying the same thing, right? And they were actually gonna send me acrylic paint and some canvases. Is it canvases? The plural for canvas? Okay, but my whole life filming videos is basically Googling things to see if I'm saying it right. And while I'm editing, I'm like, oh my god, what is... Oh my god, this is so fucking long.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
stop it and start it again?
No, not at all, man. You gotta watch all of it to edit it, all of it, over and over again.
Can you tell me a joke? Just to...
Usually I would say my life with you, my life, your face. Your face is a joke. You know, because...
As you can see, it's quite big.
That's what she said.
I hate it. Okay. No, that's all I can think of. I hate you.
Hi, thank you for joining me into another video.
Speak louder, we can barely hear you.
Okay. Hi, thank you for joining me in another video. The people from Chalcola have sent me one of their products to showcase. So anyways, the box, 32 acrylics, you have all the colors showcased over here. And let's see what I'm gonna draw with it. Like I haven't decided already. Let's go. And then you go do your shit.